Ayman Khan here for Seconds Out with the Southern Area Heavyweight Champion, Johnny Fisher. Pleasure to be joined by Johnny Fisher once again. Johnny Fisher with Conor McGregor a few seconds ago. Did I see that?
Yeah, I just got a sneaky little photo in, but the problem is with that, he said, "Oh, you're Big John's son." So it weren't because I'm Johnny. Not that I've achieved anything yet, but yeah, he's a really seemed all right. But it was good to see as well. Sonny Edwards was in there and kind of went out his way and like make a big fuss with Sonny Edwards, which is great because it's good to see the recognition for Sonny Edwards as well because he's a great fighter.
Absolutely, echo that indeed. But you're getting that notoriety. The notoriety is building for your performances in the ring. When are we going to see you back in the ring?
Hopefully December time. I've had a little niggle on the hand, a little bit of tendon injury, but it's all good. I've learned from the past to rest it properly and thoroughly. And listen, I could probably have fought with it straight after that fight, a week after, but I would have done more damage, and then it becomes irreversible. So I'm learning from the past to make sure I do it properly.
There's an adage in boxing specifically, or combat sports in general, that when you beat a champion, you gain the confidence of a champion. Sure, it's the Southern Area title, but these are the type of titles you want to pick up along the way to get to the top. Do you feel that gain in confidence?
I've always had confidence and belief in myself, but I'm also a realist and I know where I stand. That's why whenever I talk about myself, it's not because I'm not saying I don't believe in myself, it's because I'm a realist. And I believe if you put me in the ring with anyone, I'll be able to do a job and give it a good account of myself. But I know there's a process, and the process will only make me better if I do it correctly. And yeah, I do gain confidence from that fight because I fought a very tough man in Harry Armstrong. People in the boxing circuit will know how tough he is, how durable he is, how experienced he is. And yeah, a lot of people probably doubted me in that fight. People saying it's too soon. People saying, oh, Johnny's going to meet his match, he's not experienced enough. Well, I proved them all wrong, didn't I?
Proved them all wrong indeed. Do you think that, like, look, the personality outside the ring, which you bring into the ring, which separates you from everyone else nearly in boxing, do you think that sometimes bleeds into the boxing and people kind of think, maybe he's a bit of a gimmick, but you've washed that off now. You can't be a gimmick if you're picking up legitimate titles.
Well, Southern Area title is a respected belt, and people in the boxing community will know that every time you fight for a Southern Area title, there's normally a dust-up. And although it weren't probably a dust-up, you describe it, but it was a proper fight, a tough fight with a tough man. And yeah, it does bleed in, but that's my personality, and I'm not going to change for anyone. What I'm doing on camera is what I'm like outside of the ring. Whatever you see is what you get. And if people like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. I still get people saying, oh, Johnny's only a fighter. He's only got to match him because he's Big John's son. Well, I signed a contract with Eddie when I first started, before Big John was doing anything, and he was selling cheese and meat on a van, and I was helping him do it. So it's great to have my dad, and he's a massive help, and it's only added to everything. But I did it on my own as well, and that's what I'm proud of.
A lot to like, especially with the accolades that you're picking up along the way. Are you heading out to Australia?
Yeah, I will be. New Zealand, Australia. God willing, I get one in December and we go out there February, March time. Because now I'm in 10 rounders, I think you'll fight 3 times a year. That's more than enough. The camps are longer, a little bit more grueling, and you've got to make sure you rest that body. I'm only 24. I'm very, very resilient at the minute, but later down the line, you don't want to wear yourself out too much, and you've got to do it correctly. And by the time I'm 26, 27, I'll be in an even better position.
Pick your brain on the heavyweight division. We saw Joe Joyce look, first fight, people didn't think that was going to happen. Second fight, it ended emphatically. Yep. Was that something you were expecting?
Listen, in the heavyweight division, it's a cliche, it's been said 1,000 times, anything can happen on a night. And yeah, Joe just won at the races. Zhang was brilliant. It's boxing. It's like, but now people are writing him off saying, oh, Joe can't even do this, he can't even fight at this level. Well, what does it mean? Every time someone loses, that they're crap, they're rubbish. We ask fighters to go and step up to the mark. We asked Tyson Fury to fight Usyk. We ask Daniel Dubois went and go and stood up to Usyk as well. All other fighters are out there. Joshua goes and fights Usyk twice as well. I was naming Usyk every single time here, not meaning to. See you later, Charlie. So what we're trying to do, we're pressuring people to take these fights, and when they take them, we're ridiculing them and saying they're crap. What's it all about? We either want it or you don't. You've got to commend these people for taking on these challenges. And Zhang, I guarantee you, he's up there with the top 3, top 4 in the world. Fast hands, 20-stone man, experienced. He's up there. You've seen him, what he done to Hrgovic. Many people thought he beat Hrgovic. And listen, he's a threat to anyone. And Joe Joyce, he's my friend, and I know what he can bring to the table. And he will not shy away from any challenge. And people have got to remember that. He's great for British boxing.
Let's focus on Zhang for a second. Out of Wilder, Fury, Usyk, and AJ, who would you pick him? Who would you favour him in a fight against one of those 4?
They're all tough. All very, very tough fights. I think AJ would fancy right now, just based on the last few performances. Taking nothing away from AJ because I'm an AJ fan, but I think that'd be the fight he'd be eyeing up. Usyk probably as well. I think Wilder's the biggest threat to anyone because of that single punch power. I still think Wilder could knock every single one of them out and he could be the top of the division. You just can't deny physical, brute strength, punch power. And that can end the fight on a switch, on a flick of a switch. And that's the same for Zhang. He's got that power as well. So that'd be a great matchup. What a fight that would be for Wilder Zhang would be unbelievable.
Does the Joyce versus Dubois rematch make sense now more than ever?
I don't know. It's up to Joe Joyce. What his head's at, where his head's at. He might want to take a breather. That's first and foremost. He's had 2 hard camps back to back. Have a little break. See what you want to do. There's fights out there for him still, but the only person who can make that decision is Joe Joyce.
Well, the dust will be settling on Joe Joyce's defeat. The dust has settled and is rising up again now that it's announced that David Adeleye and Fabio Wardley will be fighting on the Fury and Ngannou card. Yeah. That scuffle on the red carpet I wasn't expecting that. But who are you favouring in the fight? For me, I know David. I sparred with Tyson and David was in the camp. Met him briefly. Good guy. Fabio I've known for years now, sparring all together all the time. A good friend of mine, really. And yeah, there's a little scuffle. I feel like he was falling forward and he just falling over. And it just so happened a hook was coming in at the same time, so people were saying that. But yeah, it wasn't ideal, but for me, Fabio Wardley can win that fight. I've seen the doggedness he's got, not only in his fights, but in sparring. He can pull it out of the bag and he's got an elite mindset. And I think he can win a world title or challenge for a world title one day, Fabio. If anyone was able to try that with you, would you still want the fight? Would you still want to give that person that opportunity?
What, if they pushed me? If they pushed me, I'd just let them. I would have just... Listen, I've learned from my own life, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth any aggravation. Well, it's more different on the streets, obviously, because anything can happen. But Fabio, I can see how he's feeling because someone's pushed you. You want to get straight back in there. But you know the scene from Gladiator? Oh, it's going to sound weird. But you know the scene from Gladiator when he starts having a go at Russell Crowe saying, I heard your son crying, your wife moaning, blah, blah, blah. And he just turns around and bows his head. That's sometimes the best thing to do. Kill him with kindness. And then when you're in the ring, fucking let him have it.
Let him have it. Final couple of things. Fury and Ngannou, any interest? Got to favour Fury here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, big time. But listen, Fury takes his eye off the ball. There is a pressure in him in a certain way. He's so expected to win. Imagine if because obviously Ngannou can bang. If he lands on his chin, he's still going to know about it, but he should be good to go. Fury all day long.
I'll leave the final word with you, Johnny. You've impressed this year, looking to impress in a final fight this year, heading into the next year. Any message to your fans?
Thank you, everyone, for supporting me. It doesn't go unnoticed, all the money you spend on tickets and train fares all up and down the country. But I'll try and put on a show for you, and the next one's going to be even bigger. Bosh.
Well, so Johnny, thanks for picking the seconds out. Cheers, mate. All the best.
Cheers, mate.